ladies, it's been a while.
It has, it certainly has, and I'm laughing because I've been knocked back from the flower markets out at Flemington, or Homebush if you want to call it. They promised me a bunch of bluebells.
Yep.
And they've disappointed me. So
Oh.
when I've gone to pick up, sorry, they didn't come in. So I'm holding the sheets up to give the viewers an idea of what they look like. And aren't they spectacular? Very romantic.
And I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking that I've printed off English bluebells.
Yes.
Because they're quite different from Spanish bluebells, did you know?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm really glad that you brought that up. Look, France and Great Britain are going blooming bananas over these beautiful bluebells. I'd like to think, why hasn't Great Britain made it a national symbol? I mean, if they're so in love with it, why hasn't that happened? But look, moving forward, they say for the superstitious that if you see the sight of the bluebell, the native bluebell, to France and Great Britain, for the superstitious that is, you're guaranteed 7 years bad luck.
I've got one even worse than that. It's apparently a tool used for calling fairies, and
yes,
you ring the bluebells like you would like a normal bell. So you ring them, and the fairies will come. But the downside is, if you actually hear it ring, it's a superstition that someone that you hold dear to your heart will die if you hear it ring. But that's what I'm saying. Well, I don't know. My
ears aren't working today.
Goodness for that.
But if you're into associated chakras, it activates your third eye and your throat. And is it fragrant? Absolutely. It's very sweet though.
Really?
It's very like toned down if you want to compare it to the hyacinth. Does it give you skin irritations? Apparently, yes, it does. Speaking of skin irritations, it is fact that you can create glue out of the sap, and out of the sap of the bulb and the stem, and it used to work wonders. And with the there was a guy by the name of Tennyson, and he speaks of the bluebell juice. Have you heard of it becoming a bluebell juice?
No.
Well, apparently it was used to cure snake bites.
Well,
yeah.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, because it is quite toxic actually, and I think the scientists are looking into maybe a cure for cancer. Now, the one thing we should have mentioned right up from the beginning, are bluebells only blue? No.
No, they're not.
No, they come in pink and a kind of creamy colour.
Pink's outstanding, and I'm being biased because pink is my favourite colour. And as you can see here, my darling blossoms. Look at that outstanding colour,
now,
lilac.
Back to what I was saying about the English bluebells. They only flower on one side of the stem.
Correct.
Yeah,
and the Spanish, both.
Both sides.
Yeah. And that's how you know the difference between the two. I'm just wondering, does the Spanish bluebell have a fragrant? Because we know that the English does.
I would say not, because we grow them quite readily here in Australia, and they Spanish bluebells are the ones that we can buy. They're readily available,
and they're the ones that don't smell.
Yeah, that's why I went. No, they don't have.
No, the English ones do. Look, they have English bell tours in Great Britain. That's how serious they take it. Well,
they do grow wild. I do remember seeing meadows of bluebells, and there is, it's forbidden to pick bluebells.
That's right. Meadows. You'll get a fine.
Apparently, the Wildlife and Countryside Act in 1981. Yeah, heavily fined.
And if you're into ancient history, like medieval time war, apparently, if you wanted to have a really better shot at winning the war, they used to have bluebells around them.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it worked for them.
Well, there you go.
Anybody win a war in Great Britain? They didn't against the Scotsmen, did they? They lost there.
Now, with the bluebells as a cut flower, it comes from a bulb, but you can actually grow it from seed as well, and it takes 5 years to go. If you do happen to get a seed, you can't actually buy the seed, so obviously it's something that in your garden, if the bluebell set seed and then drop the seed, it will be another 5 years before it becomes a bulb. So
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Oh, I don't have 5 years to waste. But good to know, 5 years. Yeah. But they're thirsty little suckers. So if you're growing them, I've been told that, you know, you need to water more than normal because they're very thirsty.
Okay.
We're talking about the bluebell, the Great Britain ones, not the Spaniards.
Okay.
And as a cut flower, because it's a bulb, you need to slip on the sneakers, which means the flush cut on the stem, and shallow water in the vase. Yes, I did say that he's thirsty because it is a mister. So you need to really top up your vase with water every day because it drinks a lot.
All right.
And the reason why we leave so much little water in the vase, too much water in the vase will soften the stem.
Because it's got sap in it.
Yes. So,
indeed. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now there's another difference between Spanish and English bluebells. Apparently Spanish bluebells can grow in full sun much better, and the English bluebells prefer partial shade.
Oh.
So yeah, and the English bluebell is stronger scented, but the Spanish bluebell is taller, and the English bluebell is a deeper blue.
Taller because it gets more sunlight.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And less. The reason why it's taller is because it lacks fragrance. So anything that's tall doesn't stink, and when it's short, it smells because it's semi-shade.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Now, Spanish bluebell flowers lift their heads towards the sun, but not the English ones. They never do.
Stubborn, blooming bastards. Are we allowed to say that word?
Oh, well, we have now. So. Okay.
I love the poms. I've dated a few. Yeah, they're not bad, actually. Now, as I said earlier, that it gives you skin irritations, it can cause dermatitis. So you need to glove up, my darling blossoms. So when it looks so, you know, dainty and very feminine, it's got a dark side. You know, don't take it on face value because doesn't he look so innocent?
It does. It looks lovely, and it looks like a bell you can ring, but try not to listen to any ringing that it makes.
No, and certainly don't ring my bell.
There we go. There we go. Well, there we have it. That's bluebells, which is scientifically Hyacinthioides hispanica for the Spanish one, and Hyacinthioides nonscripta for the English one. There you go.
They're only available for 3 weeks in Australia, so you've got to get them while they're blooming hot. So late September to late or mid-October.
Okay, there we have it. Thanks, Mercedes, for coming in and talking to Real World Gardener.
Always a pleasure.